Hey, what's up, my uplifting life partners? This is Ron Simplified Myers. Today, we wanted to come talk to you about if married, can men and women be friends? Well, if you saw my video from yesterday, it was specifically on can men and women be friends? So you kind of know where I'm going with this. If you haven't got the opportunity to watch that video, please go back and look at it. But in marriage, it's a little trickier because you're married. Me, for example, my wife worked around a lot of guys at her job. I mean, she was an MRI tech, so there were women there also. But at times, she would go to lunch with some of the guys, or one guy. And if you don't have confidence in who you are, you would be one of those guys that said, "No, that's never going to happen." For me, that wasn't a challenge. Now, if the same guy wants to take my wife to a movie, to dinner, now we're getting into an area that I said, "Oh no, that's not happening." See, because if you're at work, that's one thing. Outside of work, that shouldn't be happening. And so that's the way I see it. Now, there are people that don't have a problem with their partner dating other people. They don't have a problem with their partner sleeping with other people. Matter of fact, as couples, they sleep together. Folks, each their own. That's why, for me, when people make the broad statement, men and women can't be friends, even in marriage, I say it's not true. For you personally, it may not be true. So when people say that, you have to be specific and say, for me, this works, this doesn't work. But there are some partners that wouldn't even allow your partner, like I was saying with Terry, that would allow their partner to even go to lunch with someone, because to them, you're putting a person in a position where they go, it's too busy, too easy for them to get intimate. They get to know each other. They start to get close, and then affairs occur. Well, for me, it's not that the affairs, because it's always going to come down to integrity and character. You guys hear me say that all the time. Because you tell your partner they can't go out to lunch with someone doesn't mean they're not going to cheat. Even me telling Terry she can't go out after work with guys. If she wants to cheat, she was going to cheat. So you have to trust your partner. That's the whole thing in relationships. If I can't trust you, we got issues. But I'm not going to allow someone to actually date my wife and going to hanging out with my wife and think that that's okay for me personally. So if she does do it, she is going to have to do it outside of work behind my back, which would start making it what we call cheating, because it's not in agreement. You guys know, for me, cheating has nothing to do with sex or whatever you want to call it. People go because you looked at somebody the wrong way. To me, it comes down to cheating is when you break an agreement. That's what cheating is. So that would be something we didn't agree on, because I told her that's not acceptable to me. So we agreed. She understands where I'm coming from. So if she crosses that line, then we have issues. Now, I know some people say, but she didn't agree, so it doesn't make it cheating, because you said it's an agreement and she didn't agree. Well, I'm assuming she agreed, because the conversation wouldn't have ended with her not agreeing. I hope you guys got that. So, but anyway, it was funny because I had some people I was talking to, and I was telling kind of some of my issues. I said, like, for me, for example, I couldn't be with someone or married to someone who's an actress. And I said, because she's on screen kissing some guy, sex scenes with some guys. And for me, that's truly putting a person, because again, the mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not. So if you keep teaching it, I'm practicing this role with this individual, intimate role. I mean, stuff you're doing with your husband or wife. And we continue to do that, because the mind doesn't know the difference between what's real or what's not. It starts to link up unless you're totally unattracted to the person. But if you're attracted to the person, you start to link this up. Then your partner starts to think outside of the scenes. And I'm not saying this is going to happen. I mean, I'm just saying, but you put them in that position to when they're not on the set, they're still thinking about the scene, or maybe they enjoyed what they did. Why? Because they are actually attracted to the person that they were doing. So it's funny because, and I was saying that you have to truly trust your partner if your partner does stuff like that. I said, because like for me, for example, I was in the financial service field. And I went out and, I trained young ladies. I'd take them out because we did presentations across the kitchen table. So we'd go on an appointment, and then after the appointment's over, we may go grab dinner or something so I can share with them some tips or stuff like that. Because eventually they're going to go out and do presentations on their own. So this is our way to do the quick one-on-one. Okay, so what did you learn? Okay, when they said this, they said, that kind of stuff. And I used to tell my wife, honestly, I used to tell her, I appreciate that you have that much trust in me, because folks on the other side, I don't know if the roles were changed and she's going out to dinner after these appointments with guys late at night. I don't know how I would take it. I know people go, that's double standard. It is. And I'm not going to even deny it. But I know for me personally, that would be rough. I mean, I'd have to do it because I trust her, and that's what her occupation calls for. And but I'm not gonna say it wouldn't be tough. I ain't gonna sit here and try to play like, yo, because I'm so confident in myself, man. Because I am, in terms of my wife. Like, we were playing basketball, and guys were talking about, yeah, man, when guys are looking at my woman or something, one of the guys like, yeah, I walk up to her and I grab her, I tap her on her behind, I let them know she with me. And I laughed and I told him, I said, man, I don't have those issues. I said, my wife could be sitting over there watching us playing, and some guy could be over there talking to her, and I'm gonna keep playing. I said, why? Because I know who she's going home with. There's no question in my mind who she's going home with. So he could talk. If he says something inappropriate, she'll let me know, and then I'll come over there. But up to that point, that's between him and her. And the reason I say that is because if I can't trust her in front of me, folks, I'm not with her all the time. So that means if she's a person that's easy to be influenced, while I'm on the court, on the basketball court, she's in my eyesight, and I can't trust her, how in the world am I going to trust her when I'm not around? So that's something to have. But for me, I am, in that sense, I'm very comfortable. But at the same time, I can't turn around and say, I'm okay with you saying me and Johnny getting ready to go to a movie. You know what I mean? It's like, are we getting ready to go out and have dinner? Okay, now that's stuff that I'm like, no, that's stuff that's reserved for me as your husband. That's me talking. I'm not telling you what works and doesn't work, because you have to decide within yourself. Because like with this couple, it was funny because I was talking to them about that, and they started laughing because the wife is an actress. And so it's like, I had just made the comment that I couldn't marry an actress because of this. And he's like, she's an actress. And I'm like, whoa. I said, man, I give you props. I said, because you have to truly be confident in who you are as an individual, totally trusting to know that your spouse is out there late at nights rehearsing, late at night shooting scenes. She's with some man, and if there's some guy that she's attracted to. Because like I told you guys before, if you ever believe that because you get married, your partner is no longer going to be attracted to someone else, mentally and physically, you're living in a naive world. They will always, as long as they have eyesight and they have hearing, they will always be attracted to someone. For me, crossing the line and following through on that attraction is a whole different ball game. But that's why for me, the acting thing would be tough, because I'm like, because she's actually following through. Now, she may not go all the way in the scenes, but she's sharing too much for me. I don't want some man sitting there all hugged up with my wife, and then I go watch the movie and go, man, that was a good movie. No, because I got a problem with me now visualizing some other man holding my wife. And again, I know that's my issue. But that's the whole point in relationships. It's about communicating, about letting your partner know the boundaries. And that stuff you should have taken care of in the dating scene, and while you were dating. And then we don't have these issues when you get married. And so for me, that's where I come from. So can men and women be friends? The answer is absolutely yes. How far you will allow that friendship to go, that's something you have to decide, and something you and your partner have to have a conversation with, because everything is about coming to an agreement. That's what your relationship is about. Communicate. You guys know I said there's two keys to relationship. One is accepting people as they are, and the second one's communication. So if you're in the field of acting, and this is what you're doing for a living, I have to know that this is a part of what you do. And if I am a person that can't accept that, then I shouldn't be dating you. And I've shared this before. It's the same thing in the dating. If you know that your girlfriend only has males as friends because she's one of those that says, I don't get along with women. You knew that in the dating stage. Don't get shocked now that you're married and say, but she can no longer have males as friends. She's always had males as friends. When you started dating her, she had males as friends. You can't tell her now she got to get rid of everybody in her life and the only person going to remain in her life is you because you have a hang up. See, that's why you have to get clear on who you are, where you're headed, and then you only date as far as going to the next level with people that are headed in the same direction as you, not find someone who is doing what you don't agree with and then trying to convert them and make them stop. And it's the same thing holds for you ladies also. If you know that he has nothing but ladies as friends, you knew that going in. So if that's acceptable to you, don't try to change it later because that's what you walked into. So in my case, I already know hanging out with guys outside of the workplace, yes, I have a challenge with that. Just at work, I trust her enough to know that that she's not getting ready to take her lunch break and go to a hotel. I trust her enough that that's not what's getting ready to take place. Because that's why I said it's a character and integrity. Because if a person is going to cheat, even saying lunch, which you think she went to lunch or he went to lunch, if that's character and integrity that they cross that line, there's no way you're going to stop it. That's why I said even when guys go, well, I don't have women as friends. That doesn't mean you're committed. Do not link that. People say that, especially guys are good for saying that to make it sound like, because I'm committed, I'm loyal, you can trust me. That doesn't mean that at all. It just means you're not calling them friends. Doesn't mean you're not cheating. So, but anyway, I hope that's pretty clear. You can have men and women as friends, but you do have to figure out what are the guidelines for you and your partner, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable, and then go from there. But do not let the world tell you, one, you can't have males or females as friends, and then two, what that relationship should look like. Because only you can decide that. It's got to be what you really feel in your heart. This is not about playing games. This is not about telling your partner what they want to hear. This is about you being upfront and honest. And then now we get to decide if we're going to move forward. So as you guys know, it ain't right. It ain't wrong. It's just my opinion. Now, if you haven't signed up for my podcast here, please subscribe. Leave messages below. Let me know if there's other topics you would like for me to share. And if you got something out of this one, it would definitely be appreciated. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.